Well, I'll stay on this subject as long as I need to because I'm passionate about it. I know a lot about it. One, being molested and told that I was not to discuss it with my mother because she was going through too much as it was. I told my grandparents. I was 8. I didn't act out, not in that way. I just was told I wasn't allowed to speak to social workers or get any kind of counseling because, as my grandfather screamed, it's nobody's goddamn business. Fair enough. Back to the 2 boys that were taken advantage of, molested by their babysitter. I remained friends with one of them. He didn't have cooties, but we didn't have that problem. We just talked. I had no one else to talk to. In 6th grade, which was my nightmare year, I had a teacher. He's probably dead by now. If there's a heaven or if there's a hell, I hope he's in hell. But when he was helping, because the boy that had been hurt was sitting right in front of me, when he was helping this boy in 6th grade with his math, his hand would be between the boy's leg, massaging his thigh. There were 4 other boys in that class that had the same massage, were uncomfortable. Did it do any good to tell on him? No. My last day of school, we went to, we had an outing, and we were climbing rocks and all that, and we decided to play doctor, this one kid and I. He wanted to see my boobs. About normal now. So I showed him a boob. Wrong? I don't know. I can only tell you what happened. So we get back to the classroom after this outing, and this teacher, who had been doing this to the boys, announced to everybody that I had showed my boobs. He admonished me, he admonished the boy, he embarrassed us, and then looked at me directly and said, "And I'm calling your grandmother. Pauline doesn't put up with this shit." Of course I was crying. I was in total hysteria. You know. It was a very bad moment for me, and knowing what I knew about this teacher and the boys involved knowing about this teacher, we felt really, it just was bad. It was just bad. This teacher yelled at me for crying after reading the book Big Red, which is my favorite book, but any book that concerns an animal dying or anything, I just lose it. I cry. I cried my eyes out. And in front of the class, this teacher admonished me again and said, "She's just a big baby. Ignore her. She just needs to grow up." I cry at sad things, movies, books. I cry. To this day, I cry. I still can't watch Lassie. I mean, that's just the way it is. Did he ever call my grandmother? No, he didn't. And the reason why, because I confronted him before I left the classroom on my last day. And I said, I know about you basically touching the boys between their thighs and massaging. And he looked at me. He said, no one will believe you. And I said, really? I don't care anymore. I don't care if they believe me or not. But you are a fucking dick. That was the man, and that was the language that I used. By then, I'd been sexually molested by my mother's whatever he was. And, I was like 12 years old, almost 13, and I had nothing to lose anymore. And I'd sprained my ankle on top of it that day. I tried telling one of the people at church what had happened. And he told me that I had to be mistaken. I wasn't. I was not mistaken. The boy who felt me up, by the way, years later, when he turned 18, he was at a Taco Bell and tried to stop a robbery. A robbery was in place, and his head was blown off. I have thought about this boy for years. 4 years. He was also one of the boys that was massaged. Do we get over this? Not really. We end up in counseling. We learn to deal with it. We learn to be survivors. We learn not to be victims. God, people accuse me of being a victim. Believe me, I am not a victim. I am very proactive with people who have been assaulted and told to shut up. Then I get my chance to get in the face of the perp. People don't understand what a victim is. People don't understand what a perpetrator is. People don't understand what a survivor is after they've been victimized. They do go to counseling, we hope. And those that don't report it, which are many, because of the way they're treated. Male and female, and males are the highest in predatory victimization, and they are the least that report anything because of their embarrassment, and they believe that they're gay. There's nothing wrong with gay, so don't think that I'm saying that, because I'm not. But the child of this type of predatory behavior, who have been molested or raped by a male or a female. It's rare that a female is a predator, but they exist, and they are bad. They allow things to happen. Years and years of trying to understand what's going on and talking to other survivors, and then my own daughter. Faceplant. Embarrassment, shame, stupidity. There's not enough sorries to ever go around. And of course, I honestly did not know what was going on. I was too fucking busy working. Blind. So, what is a predator? They are the teacher, the judges, the police officer, the mailman, your doctor, the neighbor, the father, the mother, the brother, the uncles, the cousins. What are they? And it doesn't happen in every family. Of course not. But it happens everywhere. It's not the fucking man in the little dark suit. Though they've been known to do it too. Gein was one of many, oh gosh, I'm running out of electricity. Ed Gein was one of the ones that had boys buried all over his yard. A serial killer. Bundy and his little bug, VW. He went to Washington University. Edwards let out of jail after being a sexual deviant. Let out of jail because he was cured. Killed the whole family, kept 2 children, killed one of the kids, and the little girl is now in a place where nobody knows. She's the only survivor. What is predatory? We have those that don't kill. We have those that do kill. We have those that just a secret. How many secrets do we have in families? We have plenty. Not in every family. There's a God. It's got to be. I don't blame a God on this. I blame a sickness in the brain. I believe in there's something wrong with these people. I don't believe, these are class 3 people, by the way, in sexual predatory. Class 1 is peeing in the bushes, class 2 is statutory rape, and class 3s are what you don't want out of prison, ever. And they wonder why some parents go crazy and go blow their heads off. Should we prosecute the parent? Not in my opinion. My opinion only. I've seen too much. Some people are rabid. We put down rabid dogs. These people have hurt child's brain for life. Some of these people kill prostitutes, young boys. They have their pick. Some don't care. They don't care if they have boys or girls. The point is, they are dangerous. And they didn't chase girls with cooties. Most of the time they start with animals. No one knows. You have to be there, you have to know, you have to go to these clinics, you have to see the children, you have to work with these children. These children are on the streets. They've been thrown away by their drug addict families. So most of them have been used for prostitution, for the people's dope. These people, what they call strawberry themselves, they don't pay for their dope. They prostitute their kids out or prostitute themselves out. This is not good. And you want details. I'll give you details. But remember today, my films will be rated R. They're not for children in a room. Half the time they're not for adults. It is a real issue. But it's not kissing somebody on the hand. For the love of peace. That is just going overboard and ruining the cases that are out there. People need to be paid attention to. Yo, word